You have great coaches. Then after you have great coaches, you get great players. You have a great organization. And you tell them one thing. Just win, baby.
This is Raiders Allegiance with Lunatic Raider. Welcome to the dark side.
Oh shit. It's Lunatic. What's going on, everybody? What's happening with you guys? Go ahead, pull on up. Welcome to Raiders Allegiance with Lunatic Raider. We're going to discuss the Las Vegas Raiders draft. The players they selected and the undrafted free agents they got afterwards. And we got a long list of those that they signed. And boy, is it an interesting list of players and positions that the Raiders accumulated after the draft ended today. Come on in. Don't be shy. You know what I mean? We're going to have a little sip, but we ain't going to do no trip. You feel me? There goes Miss Jennifer. Thank you for pulling up, Miss Lady. I appreciate it. Shout out to Aaron Diaz. Thank you so much for pulling up on me. You already know how I feel about y'all. For real. I'm just like y'all. Without you, there's no me. Without us, there is no nation. There's only one nation, and that is the Raider Nation. Thank you for pulling up, everybody. We're going to kick back for a minute, let everybody gather they thoughts and come on in. You know what I mean? Yes. Anything less than a division round, what you said, appearance will be a failure and letdown to the upcoming season. And you are exactly correct. Even if we duplicate last season. But let's not get into that yet. We still got people showing up. Let them show up. So until then, we're going to shoot the shit. If this is your first time pulling up to Raiders Allegiance with yours truly, Lunatic Raider, all I ask of you is to do me one solid. And it's free. It don't cost no money. You ain't got to sell no ass, no kidneys, nothing. All you got to do is subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and knock the hell out of that notification bell so you could be notified of all the content I release, even breaking news. And trust me, with the things that I have getting ready to come out during this football season, you're not going to want to miss it. So you better hit that mother bell. You know what I mean? Hit that bell so it can notify you. It can notify every one of you. But anyway, come on in. I'm going to kick back for a minute. Let y'all go ahead and get into the chat. Whatever questions you got, you can talk amongst yourselves. You can ask it here. We down tonight. You know what I mean? It's Saturday night. It's you. It's me. It is the nation. We are live and direct from Raiders Allegiance with Lunatic Raider. And I appreciate each and every one of you for pulling up. I really do. I can't express it any more than that. You guys are very welcome and very appreciated. And everything that you guys have to say, your opinions, is well respected. So come on in. It's hot in this motherfucker for real. I got these lights on me. You know what I mean? My bald head is sweating like I'm on the witness stand, lying like a motherfucker. I didn't see shit, Your Honor. You know what I mean? Pull on up, y'all. Come on in. Yes, we got Aaron Diaz in the motherfucking house. We got Jennifer Chang in the house. Thank you for pulling up for real. Come on in. Do not be shy. Do not be bashful. We got people. There it go. Keep them numbers coming. And like I said, if you have not liked this this channel, like this shit. You feel me? Let's go. It's us, y'all. You know there ain't no fan base like us. There's probably some perpetrators gonna slide up in here from other organizations and teams trying to hear what we talking about, you know what I mean, and take it back to their fan base and be like, we need to be like them. Nah, you need to be like these nuts. What's up, everybody? It's the Crazy Asylum, the Raider Asylum with Lunatic Raider. Come on in. Do not be shy. Kick off your shoes. Get you a drink. And let's hang out. Let's hang out tonight, you guys. You know what I mean? Let's hang out. The draft ended today. The Raiders made their picks, made their trades, as well as signing a list of undrafted free agents. And I have this list right here. And it might not even be the complete list. That's just after the draft. There can be some signings tomorrow, and the day after, and the day after that. But there is some names on this list, some positions I look at like, okay, I see you, Raiders. I see you. You guys went out there and was pillaging the villages of talent that was not drafted. I feel you. I feel you. I feel you. I feel you. Shout out, man. Everybody out there, man. I'm up here sweating, but I don't give a damn. I feel good. I feel good. And we're going to get into why. But as you already know, it's Raiders. It's always going to be Raiders. Nothing less, and always going to be more Raiders, Raiders, Raiders. So come on in. I want to hear what you guys think about the draft picks. I know there's certain draft picks that you guys kind of like, you know what I mean? I understand that. But then there's got to be some picks that you be at certain spots in the draft that we took. You was like, good value. Good value. Exactly. And there's a few of them. Just some that might raise an eyebrow or two, like, it was okay. The draft was all right. I didn't like that pick, which some people didn't. But we're going to discuss it tonight. With your guys' opinion and your feedback, we are going to discuss the Raiders draft picks and the undrafted, because I got a list right here. I got a nice list. I'm going to tell you how many people I got on the list so far of undrafted rookies that the Raiders have signed. There is approximately 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I count 11. Let me make sure. You know what I mean? Let me make sure. I'm going to tell you how many. Hey, the Raiders have been out there making moves, you guys. I don't know what you've heard, but I'm going to tell you what you're going to know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 11 players that were undrafted that the Raiders have signed. Some of them, you could connect the dots and be like, oh, that makes sense. Others, you still can say at the position they play, it makes sense. Will they make the team? Who knows? Practice squad? Who knows? It all is a wait and see. But come on in, y'all. I see 4 people up in here, and 4 is not enough for what we about to get into. We're going to discuss some real shit about our team, about the players we picked, and does it make sense? And like I always said, like I said previously after the press conference today, as long as Ziegler, McDaniels, and Champ Kelly makes decisions that make sense, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. There's no way we could reach. We have not had a first or a second round today. We cannot reach. There is not a reach in the third round. And for anybody to speculate a player to go in a 5th, 6th, or 7th round is lunacy. How do you know? How do you know? How can you factor that in if you don't know what other teams reached for and knocked down into those later rounds? You're putting value on oh yeah, I see him to be a 6th round or a 7th round pick. How the fuck you know? How the fuck you know? Did your wife know that you, and I'm talking about the pundits on TV. Did your wife know you was a piece of shit and it was impotent? I'm pretty sure she didn't, but she found out. You know what I mean? But enough of that, y'all. I'm being raw and uncut, and that's how we're going to keep it here. All right. So look, we're going to get into this shit. I see we 7 deep now. Keep bringing that shit in. 7 deep. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Let's go, nation. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get this shit going, man. We got some shit to talk about tonight. I want to hear what you guys think and how you think about these draft picks. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and start it off. We're not going to get into the undrafted yet. We're going to save that for last. Let's get into the picks that we did draft. What are your guys' thoughts on the picks that we did draft? And I want to know what kind of value you think it was in the round that we drafted them at. That's what I want to hear. And everybody popping up, man. Thank you for real, for real, for real. Now, see about Jacobs. Everybody want to talk about Jacobs. And you say that's Kenyon Drake's replacement? Possibility. But to be honest with you, I wouldn't agree. Because Kenyon Drake is known as a running back that can catch out the backfield. Not saying that White can't, but they did not do that with him a lot at Georgia. But they say, and Ziegler and them said that today, there's potential that he could. But see, you got to understand, we took Brown from UCLA. Have you guys ever, now I know Jennifer, yes you, Jennifer, you said, why will we draft a bum-ass UCLA running back? You must be a USC fan. I'm just guessing. But I went over this evening and I looked at his tape. The one running back that he said he models his game after is Adrian Peterson. And when I seen his tape, he's not Adrian Peterson, but you can see Adrian Peterson's influence on his run game. He's an aggressive runner. And both running backs, White and Brown, both are known. Well, I ain't gonna say they're known for it. This is what I observed watching their tape. Yards after contact. Yards after contact. Both of these runners provide you with yak. Not yards after the catch, but the other yak. Yards after contact. Or shall I say, after first contact. Because when they got hit the first time, they still kept going forward. Both Brown, both also White, both of them, but they're not the same kind of running back at all. At all. I see White is more aggressive. You know what I mean? Like, Brown's aggressive too, but White is more, he's patient behind his blocks on the offensive line, and he makes good cuts and reads. He chooses the right hole to hit or the direction to go. And he shows a little patience. He's not just rushing out there ahead of his blockers. He's patiently behind them, and boom, he hits the hole. And he has some speed. He's not the fastest guy out there, but he has some speed. That's one thing I noticed about White. Brown, he's not really, to me, the fastest guy. And looking at his 40 time, he's not. But he is an aggressive runner. He does not fear contact. So that's one thing with him. Now, the way I look at what Ziegler and McDaniels and Champ Kelly, what they went out there and actually did was go get insurance policies. And what I mean by that is that the insurance policies that the Raiders went and got were running back, because after this season, there's only one running back that will be under contract. The rest of them are free agents, and you're not guaranteed to bring all of them back. Plain and simple. Bolden is the only running back after the 2022 season who will be returning next year unless traded or released under contract. And I'm talking about every other running back after him are free agents after the season. Smart move to go grab young running backs that you can develop for your system. And they said themselves that they went after players that look like they can fit their system, their scheme, have the kind of mentality to want to play football for the Raiders and play the way that they're expected to play. Like they said with White, they expect him to be like whatever they expect of him, he's down for it. And that's the kind of players you want. You want players that's ready to get out there and, okay, coach, I got you, and go do that shit. That's what you want. It's not a knock on Josh Jacobs. I like Josh Jacobs. I hope Josh Jacobs stays. And the fact that the Raiders did not pick up the fifth-year option on Cleveland Farrell, Jonathan Abrams, and Josh Jacobs does not mean they do not want these players. But what it does mean, and what will happen, is not having a fifth-year option and making them a free agent after this year. How do you think these guys got to play? If they're playing for the bag, how do you think they got to produce this year? They have to produce. They have to. And if the bag is not coming from the Raiders, the bag has to come from another team. And either or, with the fork in the road, if they come to us or they go to another team, they still got to ball out of control to get the bag. And when they ball out of control under contract with us, who does that benefit? It benefits the Raiders. Because what that does is give the Raiders, 1, 2, 3 more wins if they ball out? You know what I mean? So we're in a win-win. If it doesn't pan out, bye. If White and Brown pans out, come on in. We got you guys under contract for the next 4 years. So for the next 4 years, we don't have to worry about running back. If Josh Jacobs leave, it could happen. You know what I mean? It could happen. I know his franchise tag would have been $8 million, but what if a team comes along and offer him 10? Do you think the Raiders would offer him 10? A running back who the lifespan of a running back in the NFL is only about 4 years and they're out of the league? That's what you got to think about. Money situations. You got to think about current contracts. The players that's on your team already, are they going to stick around? Are they stopgaps? And the way that I see that this front office is working is like they're never going to let a player paint them into a corner. It's not going to happen. Oh, give me money or else. No, that's not going to happen. Ziegler and McDaniels and Champ Kelly, that shit ain't going to happen. I'd be damned if a player demands money. Why you think Waller is in camp? I know everybody knows Waller deserves more money. I believe he deserves more money. I ain't going to say probably. He knows he deserves money. But do you think he's going to rock the boat for that money, knowing we can't extend them this year, but we can do it next year? So with that kind of situation, what do you think Waller going to do this year? Ball out for the bag? You know, a lot of people say, what are players' motives? Is your motive money? Is your motive being close to home? Is your motive playing for a familiar face on the coaching staff? There's different motives. But the bottom line is, just as long as you do have a motive to help you produce better. Everybody has a motive some way, somehow. I know these football players do. There's different reasons why they do it, come out and perform. There's different reasons why they don't perform. But if they're trying to get paid, hey, you better ball the fuck out this year. You better ball the fuck out. Josh Jacobs, I expect that motherfucker to come out this year and bust they ass. I mean, over 1,000 yards, staying healthy for majority of the games. I'll give him 1 or 2. Shit happens, but not the kind of 1 or 2 to keep him out for the rest of the season. The 1 or 2 where you let him rest for about a week and he's back, you know what I mean, and get his wounds healed up. He's back out on the field producing because he has to. He has to. To secure the bag, you must produce. You must prove your worth. And that's Josh Jacobs got all the control in the world. It ain't the front office. It's Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs go out there and rush for 1,200 yards, 12 touchdowns, and playing, we'll say 15, even 15 games. You playing 15 games, that's healthy enough. And you come produce, we get to the playoffs, we go further in the playoffs because of your production. Do you think the Raiders won't give him a bag? I beg to differ if you think so, because I'm knowing his production is going to dictate the kind of money he gets. For real, for real. Shout out to everybody out there, man. I appreciate you guys pulling up. We out here talking real shit, real shit, real shit. Hey, I'm knowing he's going to ball. You feel me? Hey, Aaron, you hit it. I'm telling you, Jennifer, I know you like Josh Jacobs as well. I do too. But sometimes you need to have a spark to really bring out the dog in you. And we seen, like, a matter of fact, towards the end of last season, the last 4 games we had to win to get into the playoffs. What kind of player did you see Josh Jacobs as for those plays, those last 4 games? That he was balling. He was running angry. So he knows how to do it. All we got to do is get him to do it every game. And I believe he will. I trust that he will. And it's going to benefit us. Him running angry, him getting yards is going to give us victories, which is going to move us along when we make the playoffs and go past the wild card round, the divisional round. You know what I mean? It's going to benefit us. Waller, too. Waller's going to get out there and ball. Ain't nobody going to be able to stop him man on man. If they want to double Adams, he's going to kill you. Renfro's going to kill you, and I expect Edwards, because right now it looks like Edwards is in the mix for that number 2 wide receiver, and all Edwards has to do is be consistent, because when he made plays, he made big plays. You know what I mean? So if everybody is working all together in unison on this offense will be one of the greatest offenses to ever see the field in the NFL, and you heard it from me. I said that shit. I said it. If everybody on the Raiders on the offensive side of the ball produce like I expect them to do, there will be not one defense to stop that offense at all, period. I said that shit. For real, for real. For real, for real. Yeah, Brown is the one from UCLA he grabbed, for real. You said why you say he's a punk ass bitch, man? What the fuck? What he do? What he do? You try to give him your number and he said no? Or he said he had a girlfriend or some shit? He lied to you? What happened? Are you a US Jennifer? Answer me this and be truthful. Are you a USC fan? Let me see it in the chat. Go ahead. Let me see. Are you a USC fan? I want to know where your anger is coming from, young lady. I want to know where your anger coming from. Put it in the chat right now. Right now. Are you a USC fan? I knew it. I knew it. Okay, now I understand your hate. It's all good. You hate him because he's a fucking Bruin. I understand that shit. I understand that shit. Hey, now we know. Okay, now I see where the hate come from. I thought you was just hating just to hate, but the hate was so deep, I'm like, wait a minute. There's something lying below the surface of that hate, and it is, he's a Bruin. Fuck UCLA. Now, let me quit. I'm not a USC fan. I'm an Oregon Duck fan. Yes, indeed. The Ducks. But USC, hey, I guarantee you, and I'm going to say this, Jennifer, the Ducks and the Trojans will be the ones in the Pac-12 championship here in Vegas every year. Because the recruitment that they got, you figure Oregon got Nike. You know what I mean? USC, they got a coach that can get out there and bring. And I heard you guys got a was it a 5-star receiver going to USC, choosing USC? I think I read. That's gonna be some damn good games in the Pac-12 though. USC and Oregon? Come on now. That's gonna be some good shit. But yeah, okay. I understand. Okay, everybody, come on in. Hey, tell your cousins, your relatives, your aunties, your uncles, your nephews, your nieces, if they're Raider fans, tell them to pull up. We hanging out tonight, y'all. I'm glad y'all here, man. Y'all make it lit for real, for real. Who we got out here? Linnell Walker in the house. That's right. Thank you for pulling up. For real, for real. Man, all y'all is welcome. You know what? Hey, here's a drink on me. Here, can you get it? Here, I'm gonna drink it for you. Cheers to everybody in my chat. I know we ain't deep, but we deep enough. You feel me? We deep enough. But anyway, we talking about the Raiders draft. Man, I'm telling you, I'm cool with the picks we got. I'm cool with the picks. Oh, we never even got into that part yet. So as far as the draft picks that we do have, that we did pick, what is your guys' opinion of our draft picks? Was there one draft pick that you thought was like, that was a hell of a pick, especially in the late rounds that we were in? Did you guys is there somebody that just really stood out to you? What pick stood out to you? And then, and Jennifer, I'm not asking you because I know. What pick did you not like? Not because of their school either. Damn it. Oh, man. Hey, Jennifer, you all right with me? You is crazy for real. You is crazy for real. But yeah, was there a certain pick y'all liked? Defensive tackle, offensive lineman, running back? Was there somebody that y'all like that we got and you was like, oh shit, that was good value pick in that round? Because I mean, I like our this is why I like our picks. They might not be phenomenal players, but this is how I look at it, all the picks that we made. How would they work in our system with the other pieces that's already there? Like, and here's another one too. Here's another point that I got to make with what Ziegler and them did, and it was very brilliant, very brilliant. They added so much depth at defensive tackle. You mean to tell me with the free agent defensive tackles and the draft picks they got that you can't find two starters that's going to be damn good, and the competition with the rest of them is going to make them even that much better, and they're all under Patrick Graham's defense? There's a combination of things that, man, that like, okay, I see you guys. Y'all out there secretly trying to do some shit. But as a Raider fan, we know I see the shit. I see it for real. Man, you guys. Hey, big dude for the offense. Hey, for real. We needed that. But what about big dude for the defensive tackle, the nose tackle? 330? What was he, 6'6"? Hold on, let me get my numbers right, because I don't want to, you know what I mean? I don't want to get, oh shit. We got somebody backstage, you guys. And I got invitations to people because we're gonna talk this draft shit. But I like talking it with my folks that know they shit. And then, like, I love you guys in the chat because y'all know y'all shit too. But I like the ambiance of us going back and forth. I love this Raider shit. To be amongst our peers, there's nothing like it. So welcome to the stage, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, known for the brown crackers, Mr. Raider Twan. What's up, my guy?
Hey, what's good, fam? How you doing, man?
Out here hanging, talking this draft, you know?
Man.
Trying to get feedback. I know a lot of people got different opinions, and it's cool. But in essence, we got to look beneath the surface of what they did. That's how I like to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Maybe the players that they took might not be something to make everybody get wet. You know what I mean? But
absolutely.
But if I like to look at it as a whole, like, do they fit with the other pieces we already have? And I say, yeah. Is the competition there to put the right people on the field? And I say, yeah. You know what I mean? Now, the one thing I noticed people are like talking about is the running backs we selected. But as I mentioned, after this season, Bolden is the only running back that will still be under contract. So with one running back under contract next year, we have to do something just in case the rest of them walk. You know what I mean? I don't want Josh Jacobs to walk, which I don't think he will. Because what I think is going to happen is the way Ziegler and them is playing this, not offering the fifth-year option, you're forcing these players to have to ball their ass off. And we're going to be the beneficiary of that happening. Because even if they stay with us or if they decide to walk, they still going to have to ball to go get that bag. So we're going to reap the benefits of that. That's going to give us, 2-3 more wins on the season? By them, like if Josh Jacobs bust out with 1,200 yards and 12 touchdowns, you know what I mean? Waller, he wants the bag. You know, we can't give him an extension now, but he's going to try to prove his worth like, I deserve this.
Mm-hmm.
But now with Cleveland, Farrell, and Abrams, that the ball's in their court to produce to get the money. So I like what they did. See, a lot of people think, oh, Josh Jacobs is gone because we grabbed 2 running backs. That's not necessarily true. because how many 7th-round picks get cut? You know what I mean? You still got to make the team. Just because you got drafted don't mean you're solidified on this team of 53. So what say you, Raider Twine?
Man, I was hoping you would shut up for a little bit because you taking everything at exactly what I was gonna say, man. You taking everything right out my mouth.
Great minds think alike.
It is literally, you know what I'm saying? This situation, I love the draft. I love what they did. You know, again, like you said, it's not the sexy players. You know what I'm saying? They're not the sexy players, but they're the right players for where we need them to be, where we have the biggest need.
Yes.
At the end of the season, the one thing that we complained about was, we didn't have a good offensive line.
Yeah.
Guess what they did? They got 2 bodies in there. You know what I'm saying? Drafted wise. We're not even talking about the undrafted free agents that they brought in, but the ones they drafted, right? So they brought in 2 more bodies to the other group that we already had to build a competition. And because the people that they brought in, they're not just one-trick ponies.
Nope.
They play different positions.
Yes.
So what may possibly happen is there's going to be competition on certain extents, but it's going to be a get in where you fit in.
Too short all day long.
You know what I'm saying? And what I said to my other brothers is that the cream is going to rise to the top.
Yep.
And that's going to be not just for our offensive line, but guess what? It's going to be for our defensive line.
Yep.
They drafted 2 people with already free agents that were already ready to go. You know what I'm saying? Thinking that everything was going to be Hostess cupcakes. But guess what? We added more competition to it.
Man.
Because, again, cream is going to rise to the top. And we're going to pick who specifically we need for whatever situation that we want to go into.
Exactly.
Especially on both sides of the ball, where they talked about offensively and defensively. They both said that they wanted to be multi-dimensional.
Yep.
Based on whatever the weakness is of what the other team is doing, we want to be able to match that and have the personnel to do exactly what their weakness is.
Exactly.
So they're specifically selecting players, and it's a get in where you fit in, but it's also a cream rises to the top. And they did that almost in every. If you look at every room, they did that in every single room.
Yes, they did.
Running back room. Right? Everybody wants to talk about why we got 2 running backs. Well, let me tell you, and I'm going and let me run this down for you. They did that because they want competition. They didn't want Josh Jacobs to think that all he was going to do is come in there, take his number, and then he automatically gets a spot on this team.
Man.
They didn't give him the 5th-year option. Why? Nope. Because we ain't trying to pay all that if you're not going to produce.
If you're not worth it. Exactly.
And on top of that, we already know that you're injury prone and you don't last the whole season. So we need to have depth at the running back position, because if you go down, we need to have someone that can do exactly what you do.
Yep.
Flat out. So what they did is they brought these bodies in. Said, okay, we gonna create some competition. Yep. We also have question marks with not only with Josh Jacobs, but we have question marks with Kenyon Drake, because Kenyon Drake was hurt last year, and we don't know how he's going to come back in this new year. So to have that flexibility, to have that kind of depth, and also have that type of competition to wherever,
yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And this is the same offense last year that played a game that there was only maybe like 3 passes in the whole entire game because they ran the ball so much.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Daniels and the Patriots?
So you know what? Yeah. I think it might have been.
If that's the case, then we'll be ready to run the ball up and down whoever team is not ready to defend us on the run.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But and also to add to that, the fact that we have a Renfro, a Waller, and an Adams and an Edwards on the offense as your weapons, who in their right mind is going to want to stack the box? Who's going to want to stack the box? So that means our running backs is going to have a field day. Long as the offensive line do what they're supposed to do, there's going to be holes with no help at all. You know what I mean? That's like, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. You stack the box and stop the run, we're going to fuck you up in the air. You want to try to double Adams and Waller and Renfro, we're going to fuck you up on the ground. We got a committee back here with a good solid ass fullback and running backs that we got that's hungry, that's just going to run it down your throat. And when we have the lead in the fourth quarter, you're not getting the ball back.
Yes, sir.
It's going to be first down after first down after first down till the clock hits 0. And that's what's going. I see how they're balancing out the offense. They're balancing it. You know what I mean? And I see what they're doing, and it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense.
Now we weren't able to say that a couple of years ago.
Fuck no. Fuck no.
You know what I'm saying? So just know that off top that if we can now as fans and spectators that are not really professionals, you know what I'm saying? We ain't really getting paid to do this, you know what I'm saying? We doing it for the love, you know what I'm saying? And I know some people out there, they do their due diligence, but if you can go into a draft and look at your team and say, you know what, they went here, and actually that makes sense.
Yes, that makes sense. That's why
now I understand why they did what they're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, it has to. If it makes sense, it makes sense. Because if we step back, don't look at the names of the players. Look at the position.
Man, did we need those positions?
Did we need those positions? We needed offensive linemen. We needed defensive linemen. And with the contract situation with the running backs, we needed that just in case. We're not going to what running back on this team you think we're going to franchise? None. So we had to have backup, because if another team offers Jacobs and Drake and them more money than what we're willing to offer them, they're going to walk. So what? We're going to be left there with our hands tied like, shit, we ain't got nobody to replace them. Now we got an opportunity to get these young dudes and let them compete. And if they show their worth, maybe one of them makes the practice squad. Maybe he don't. But we have the ability to be able to make that decision rather than not have them here and not have a decision at all. You know what I mean? So it's
let me jump in because you said it, and I just want to add a little more spice to what you were saying, man. Don't worry about the name. Don't worry about the name. You know what I'm saying? Worry as a fan, worry about the position. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Because you know what it is? We may not like the name, but they like the name.
Yes.
The coaches like the name. And you know what? They're professionals. They have professional scouts. They have professional scouts that go out there year round to let them know who's the good. I call it groceries. You know what I'm saying? I call these picks groceries. So if I say groceries,
going grocery shopping,
I call that groceries. So excuse my language if I say groceries.
So we talk about booty hole. Everybody, we not talking booty hole. We talk about
we talking about draft picks. Okay,
players that we can eat with. You know what I mean?
So if the scouts are saying these are the groceries, then we need to trust that whatever the grocery is, that's what, that specific grocery is what we need.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So just be happy that we're getting the positions that we need. Let the professionals handle the name.
Exactly.
Because again, they're the ones that are going to have to work with these guys. How much work are they going to have to put in on these guys as coaches? How much coaching up do I need to, you know what I'm saying? They know that. How much coaching up does it take for this guy to be a starter for us? Yep. How much work am I going to have to put in on this guy in order for him to be the player that we need for him to be in our system? So let them handle that part of it. But if they go out there and get another kicker or a punter, then yeah, you as a fan, you need to make some noise because
Exactly.
we got some all pro kickers already on the roster.
You ain't like that's what I said that shit like I was like, pay attention to the position because that's what matters. Now, if we went out there and like you just said, if we took a kicker or a punter, you're gonna be looking like, what the fuck is we doing? Because it did not make sense. Like I said, any pick they make, as long as it makes sense, I'm fine with it. I don't care about the name because nobody knew who Max Crosby was really. Because if they did, he wouldn't have went that far long in the draft and got drafted by us.
X.
He would have been gone. Renfro, he would have been gone if they knew he would have produced the way he did. So it's like, fuck the name. Production is all we need. Production. You right about that shit.
Yeah,
Man, huh?
No, go ahead, brother.
No, I was just gonna I'm just running down the list of the players that we grabbed.
Oh,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
let's do that. Let's do that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get to the undrafted yet.
Hey, but I'll say this regarding the undrafted. There's gonna be there's some names that are in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That man, if they get a shot, it's gonna be a problem.
They have an opportunity, yes. And I see some of the connections too with players and family members with us that tied them in also. You know what I mean?
Oh,
the safety from USC.
Let me throw this in about our first pick. Let me throw this in on our first pick because I want the entire Raider Nation to get this in their mind. Dylan Parham, he's a talented player, but we got him in the 3rd round. Okay, in the 3rd round. I'm saying that and emphasizing that because I don't want the Raider Nation to crucify this brother.
Nope.
Expecting for him to do amazing things
like a 1st round pick would do.
Like he was a 1st round pick.
Exactly.
Because he was not drafted
in the
as a 1st round pick.
No,
and I know it happens. I see it out there. Some of my brothers and some of my sisters crucify some of these players,
man.
And I'm like, dude, he was in the 5th round.
Hey,
what did you expect? Or hey, he was undrafted. What did you expect? You know what I'm saying? So I understand it was the 1st pick for us this year. You know what I'm saying? But to be honest, our 1st pick was Devontae Adams. You know what I'm saying? We could throw it out there and pop our collar one time. But let's treat Parham as a 3rd round pick. But which, you know what? In that status, I mean he dropped to us. I'll say it like that because I believe that he was supposed to be ranked in like either the 2nd round. You know what I'm saying? At least a 2nd round. So you know, but let's keep it in perspective. You know what I'm saying? Let's not treat him like he was the 5th overall pick.
Out.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Let's not. You know what I'm saying?
The redhead stepchild for real, because he wasn't.
Trust where he was drafted, and again, when you get to the 2nd and the 3rd round, you're hoping that they become a starter. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much where the range is. You're expecting for them to be a starter for you. So he has that possibility because of his flexibility and again what he's put on tape. But please don't treat him like a 1st rounder. Don't crucify him like he's a 1st rounder either.
And I don't think there's going to even be a chance to crucify him, to be honest, because from what I've heard and what I looked at him as, for him to be able to play any position on the offensive line, and then I heard I forgot who it was that said he is a Pro Bowl caliber guard in the NFL. That's saying a lot from a 3rd round pick. You know what I mean? That's saying a whole lot about a 3rd round pick. But the way the draft happened and the way things got pushed down, I seen players being pushed out of the rounds they should have went and end up going where they shouldn't have. And I believe he was one of them.
Facts.
I
Big
believe
facts.
he was one of them. This dude is a monster. He plays angry. I watched his tape. He does not bullshit on the field. He's on the ass of the guy in front of him. You know what I mean? And I'm just imagining, okay, he has the ability to be something.
Mm-hmm.
And now the second part of that is, do we have the coaches to coach it out of him? And I believe we do. See, a lot of people just looking at talent and what they possess, but it doesn't matter what talent he has if the coaches can't get it from him. And I believe without Cable here, with what we have now, there's a possibility of this dude being a beast. He's going to find a starting job, I promise you. I don't know where it's going to be on the offensive line, but somewhere on that line, he's going to be a starter. He built that way. He ran a 5 flat 40 at 300 plus pounds. You know what I mean? 312, I think they got him at?
Yep.
5 even is what he ran at the combine. He moves. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But
no, the brother is talented, but I'm just saying, don't be going down his throat. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, for real. Let this man do what he do. Let him do what he do. But yeah, I think it was a solid ass pick in the third round for what he can do. He didn't give up not one sack. I think only 2 pressures he gave up? That was it? 2 or 3?
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, pay attention.
0 sacks and 511 snaps.
Come on, what else can you go by? You can't go by his height and weight alone. You gotta what was your production like on the field? He produced. You know what I mean? Now you get him a professional offensive line coach to go ahead and take him to that next level. Now you got something. Because like I said, with us going and getting 2 offensive linemen made perfect sense. Because if you're invested in Derek Carr with the contract extension you gave him, you must protect your investment. If you give Carr the time to throw and keep him clean with the weapons he got, what you think he's going to do to you? Any defense, you keep Carr upright and not touched, what do you think he's going to do to you with Adams, Renfro, Waller, Edwards, and Mac Hollins, and whoever else you want to add in the mix? You know what I mean? Drake and Jacobs that can come out the backfield as a receiver. Your defense is going to be put into a corner to have to make the right decision at the right time in a split of a second. That's what they're doing. They're going to
making moves like this allows DC to go like this. That ain't open. That
go
ain't
through
open.
his read. You right.
That ain't open.
Right. Yes.
Let me go to my last progression. that ain't open. Okay, well that ain't open. So let me go back. Oh, he's open again.
Yep. You see? And the thing with that one is his fucking check down is a threat. That's the kind of offense you got when your check down is a threat, just like your one receiver, your 2, your slot. Waller is his check down, and he is a threat. So I'm like, come on now. Come on. See, I said this about Carr because I know how everything is. There's a division between liking him and hating him. But the fact of the matter is this. Do not wish this man to fail just to prove you right if you don't like him. You have to want everything around him to be, because every other good quarterback in this league, that team went out there and put all the things around him, the pieces, to make them succeed. So why Carr got to be the only one that don't get that? Just to prove your point. So you ain't got to like him. You ain't got to send him a Christmas card during Christmas, but don't hope he fails just so you can say, I told you so. Because right now what this team is doing and the front office is doing, they're giving him every opportunity to succeed in the silver and black. Now, if he doesn't, then, hey, pack your shit. That contract is set up to do that. You know what I mean? But like I said, I like being able to be the type of team to put it all in the lap of the player and to be like, it's on you. Whatever you want, if you want to stay with the team, show us. If you don't want to be replaced, prove it. You can't blame the coaches because they didn't pick up a 5th-round option. You can't blame it on them for not giving you a good offensive line, good weapons, running backs, solid defense in the middle of the pack. Even if our defense is middle of the pack, that's all we need. Because right now, the way they're constructing this offense, we were close to getting 30 points a game last year until we start faltering in other places. But 30 points wasn't shit, especially with a team that was inept in the red zone. Once that red zone shit, and now we got Adams. Come on, bruh. Come on. What was New England in the red zone? Wasn't they number 1 in the league in the red zone scoring? And now we got McDaniels that was the offensive coordinator in that here with us now. Come on. I'm telling you, how many games last year did we lose that if we would have scored in the red zone when we got down there, we could have won that game? So that 10 win could have easily increased. It could have easily increased with Cincinnati because the red zone is what we lost in that playoff game. We were in the red zone. So if we can kill that as far as the failures in the red zone, it's a wrap. It's a wrap for real. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Thank you for pulling up. Nutty Raider Nate's in the house. Thank you for pulling up, my brother. I appreciate it. For real, for real. Aaron Diaz, of course. You know what I mean? Jennifer, of course. Everybody out there, I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. If this is your first time pulling up and you've never been here before, just subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. We'll deal with the notification bell later. Just enjoy the conversation. If you got input, we would love to hear from you. Go ahead and get into the chat and just post everything on your mind, what you think about the draft picks, what we should have done, what we could have done, and what we didn't do. So, man, roll out the red carpet. Y'all more than welcome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm here with Raider Twine. We're talking the draft with the Raiders this year. I love the direction we're going in. Oh, and wait till we get to the undrafted free agents that we picked up. We're going to get to that in a second, but y'all got to stick around, though. Go get your aunties and your uncles and tell them to go ahead and tune in because we're going to get into that shit. But, yeah, Twan, what other players you seen us taking in the draft that we selected that kind of like, okay, was there anybody else that you give a green check mark on?
Okay, so I'll tell because I've been on this guy. You know what I'm saying? If you ever see me do mock drafts, you know what I'm saying, with other people, you know, other channels like Salt and Mirror and stuff like that, the SC Experience. If some of you guys know those places, you guys probably seen me there. But yeah, I was encouraged when we got DA, you know, and there was a period where, you know, some people were worried that we wouldn't be able to get talent, you know, in the third and under, you know what I'm saying, rounds. And, you know, we still had needs at D tackle. We still had, you know, and I was one of those guys like, dude, we need D tackle. So I started digging and started looking at certain names. And one name kept coming up because of his size, what I saw on tape.
I know,
and I don't know why, you know, I don't understand why he wasn't, you know, higher in the draft. But I'm glad we got him where he is, and that's Neil Farrell Jr. From LSU. He is. You can literally put him in the middle of your defense and know that he's not going to get pushed back.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? Too many times. He might get pushed back, you know. Every just know when you play the position, you're gonna get pushed back every once in a while. You know what I'm saying? But know that he's one of those guys that he's gonna anchor our defense. You know what I'm saying? You know, whenever he plays, if he starts or, you know, he gets beat out by some of these veterans that we brought in, because there is some guy that we got some big boys in the middle. I'll just say it like that. but I like his style. He stops the run. He's starting to develop his pass rush. He's still young, so he can still be able to create that pass rush in the middle. But again, solid defensive tackle in the later round and Neil Farrell Jr. Yep. I was joking with some of my other guys because I was actually on a live with Eric from the SC Experience, and I told him, man, you know what they need to do, just trying to be cute. I was like, you know, they need to put Farrell and Farrell on the same side. You know what I'm saying? just let them run. You know, rush one side. You know what I'm saying? I just feel confident in Neil Farrell. If you ever get a chance, go to YouTube. You know what I'm saying, and type up these names, but definitely check out Neil Farrell from LSU. You'll like what you see.
Yeah, I believe you. And see, the thing is, the way I see, especially with him and Matthew Butler, what I seen was the fact that they went out and got pieces so we can change up the defense. You know what I mean? Even though they're both defensive tackles, but we know one is a nose, the other is a 3 technique. You know what I mean? Matthew Butler is a 3 technique. So we got the players in place if we want to go to a 3-4, 4-3, whatever. And that's what they said. Patrick Graham wants to run it. Whatever he needs to run to win a game is what he's going to do. And we have the pieces to do that. That's what I noticed. See, I'm not looking at the name. I'm looking at the position. Like we said, look at the position. Look at what we're getting and why are we getting them. So now we got a defense that can be like an amoeba defense where it can just switch up on you. You know what I mean? You never know. It depending on, and he said, depending on the offenses we face, that defense it's not gonna. It might be a base 4-3 or a base 3-4, whatever you want to make the base. Does not mean you stay in that base. You know what I mean? You have the ability to adjust and adapt to whatever's on the field at that time and who you're facing. And that's going to keep a lot of teams guessing. Like, you cannot look at film on us from the previous week and be ready to, okay, we're ready for the Raiders this week. We watched them play this team last week. No, that's a different defense you've seen. Now you're going to see another defense. You're going to be like, wait a minute, what they going to do? And that's when you got them at a disadvantage when they have to try to figure out your defense. Now you got backs against the wall.
And the overall hope, you know what I'm saying, is that we can move away from some of these 1-year contracts. You know what I'm saying?
And you hit that right.
We saw that. We really saw that last year, you know, with I call him Gus Bradley. I was about to say Greg Olsen. But Gus Bradley. You know what I'm saying? He brought all these D tackles in, and of course they did well. The Phylons, the Quentin Jeffersons, the Solomon Thomases, but they were all on 1-year contracts. So that means we're paying. We're renting them. We're renting them for a year. You know what I'm saying? So the hope is, even on the offensive line, you know what I'm saying? Even on the offensive line, the hope is that we can have these core guys
4 years
in the trenches for 4 years, at least 4 years before we, you know what I'm saying, make the other decision where, hey, we're going to make them, you know, we're going to give them that extension, you know what I'm saying? But at least we'll have solid pieces, at least 2 solid pieces, let's say it like that, from the draft. I'm again not counting the undrafted free agents, but just the 4 the 2 offensive tackles and the 2 defensive tackles, you know what I'm saying? Offensive linemen, D linemen, however you want to play it, but having them for 4 years in our system again is going to help us financially when it comes to the cap, because we want to spend money other places. We want to spend money other places.
And they went out there and did that. And that's a good point. That's a good point you made. Finances is the other thing we got to pay attention to. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to go out there and spend money in a position that takes away from another position that you really need. You know what I mean? So if we're planning on keeping Waller, keeping Renfro, you're not going to give money to a mediocre player just because his contract is up. And I know it's a need, but now with these young dudes we drafted for 4 years, we got a good contract, and we can develop them into a system that we can teach them from day one. You know what I mean? And you're right. You're right. That's the most like I said, and me and you said this. As long as it makes sense.
As long as it makes sense. And you wanna pay for players not to fill the roster. You want to pay for players that are going to help your roster. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like and that's what happened to us last year. Like the Phylons and the Solomon Thomases and the 1-year contracts, we were paying them because we needed to fill the roster. It wasn't necessarily that, we're paying, like when free agency happens and then that big players out there and they're like, oh, we want OBJ or, oh, we want so-and-so, right?
Yeah.
Those are the guys that you want to pay for. You know what I'm saying? Because those are the people that are going to take your team to that next level. You know what I'm saying? But to pay, you know what I'm saying, this person and pay this person and pay this person just because we need a corner or just because we need a D tackle, it's not worth it. No. So you want to have that cap ready to go. You know what I'm saying? And have much, and I call the rookies cheap labor. So, you want as much cheap labor as you can get so that you're able to pay, you know what I'm saying? Those high ticket prices on those all pro, those all pro players, you know what I'm saying? That we all love and want for our team.
Yep, exactly. We got a question from AP 12 times or X. What is your draft grade? What do you grade the draft that the Raiders have with the picks we made?
You know what? I give it a B. Because I see where it was going. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, everything made sense. The only reason why I'm giving it a B and not an A is because of the second pick that we got. I felt like we could have got him, sitting where we were, instead of having to go up
and get him.
I felt like we could have been able to, get that that player or some type of player like him, without moving up. But again, I don't know the behind the scenes. I don't know if there was another team that was actually trying to get him and they had to jump up before that team, because they have enough knowledge to know that, some players, another team ahead of them actually really wants that player.
And you know what? That you talk about the running back from Georgia, right?
The
White,
running back, yeah.
And you made perfect sense, because I forgot the team that was behind us. They end up drafting a running back behind us too.
Yeah.
So that kind of made sense.
And that might be the logic too.
Exactly. Now me, I would grade what I would grade the draft. I would say about a C or a C plus. The reason why I say that, and let's talk about the same player you're talking on, is White. He did tear his ACL on both knees. You know what I mean? In the same year. That's my concern. But he was not a first or a second round pick. Now, to make a pick on a player like that, but he always came back though. He came back with the injuries, because I was watching this video on him and I'm like, okay, he has the kind of no quit mentality, not to give up, not to even surrender. You know what I mean? That's the kind of dude you want on the field, to not quit. And to watch him run the ball, yards after contact or first contact, the boy got that gift. He got that gift, and he has some speed. He has speed. I see
Yes, sir.
breakaway speed. So once he
Yes,
hits that
sir.
hole and he's out there, it's like he is pretty much bye-bye. Or even if you make first contact with him, he's going to drag you 2-3 more yards. And I remember, like, even with Gruden and them, that's the kind of backs that they were looking for to make sure they get positive gainage no matter what. And White and Brown both run like that. See, Brown out of UCLA, his idol running back wise was Adrian Peterson. If you watch his tape, when he hits that hole and he gets out there free, his run style looks like Adrian Peterson. I'm not calling him Adrian Peterson, so don't y'all be sending me no bullshit talking about he's the next age. I didn't say he's the next Adrian Peterson, but you can see that that is a person that he watches and that he mimics his game after because he runs similar. He's aggressive and he's like he's older because he did he played 4 years at Duke and then he transferred. You know what I mean? His family, they played football. I think his brother played at Troy and his dad played for Army. You know what I mean? So he got that instilled, but his dad wasn't a running back or not. I think his dad played defense, to be honest. Okay. But yeah, they interviewed him, they talked to him, and it was like Adrian Peterson is the guy he tried to emulate on the field, and you can see it. He's not no little dude. He got decent speed, but the way he plays is very aggressive. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'll give it a C+ because we could have done better if there is. But like I said, we're just fans grading it the way we've seen it. I don't know what the draft board looked like for us. I don't know who they had graded on that board as far as when we did pick why they picked whoever they did.
Yeah.
I had some people say that instead of taking White, we should have took Strong Jr. You know what I mean? That's a difference of opinions. But I'm sad. I like White. I watched his tape and it's like he's productive. He's not no, you know what I mean? No bullshit ass running back. And he was brought in the round he was brought in. It was like we didn't reach for him. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I'm not gonna give them an A. Just because that perfection, A is perfection, and we know perfection can never be reached. You can chase it, but you can never catch it. You can always be better. So I'd say C+. Let me prove my grade wrong. At the end of the year, I'll change that shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'll change it. But yeah, I like the picks though. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna say, oh, that was bullshit. Never that. Because I go back and I watch them. I read about them and see what they're like, what the draft grade on them is, and their pros and their cons. And I'm like, when you read all that, you understand why we drafted them. You know, it makes sense. I'm like, okay, now I see why. You know, White is the kind of player that he can block, he can run. He wasn't implemented into the passing game in Georgia a lot, but he has the ability to do so. So that is there. So it's like, and like I say, every pick you're drafting by potential. You can't go by what he's done. You can use what he's done to assess what you think he's going to do in the pros, but you can't just solely just base everything on what he did in college, because there's a lot of factors as far as the conference he played in, the teams he played against, who was on his team around. Like, look at Georgia, period, on their defense. And I talked about this before. It's like, are they really that good on their defense, or is it because collectively you had all that talent around you to make you look good? What is it? Are you really that good? Or is it because you had other motherfuckers that got drafted too around you that made you look good? And Raiders had that. I had that instance with the Raiders when Jim Plunkett, his first Super Bowl, and his numbers wasn't great, but I tell you what, you look at all the Hall of Famers he had on that team on defense and offense, it kind of makes you wonder. And I'm not knocking Plunkett. For anybody out there, Jim Plunkett, I love Jim Plunkett, 2 Super Bowls, but we didn't draft him. He quit football for a year or two also. Patriots had him. He was with the Niners. But if you look at that team that the Raiders had when he played with us, you look at it like, damn, he had a shitload of Hall of Famers around him. Was it the
Yeah.
Hall of Famers that made him prosper, or did he prosper? You know what I mean? So, but I'm not gonna knock that Super Bowl against Washington. His numbers was like impeccable. Like, okay, Plunkett, you did your shit. You know what I mean? But I asked that about college players. Is it a mirage that we're seeing in them by the fact that they had other talent around them that made them look good, or were they really part of that made them that good? Georgia is one of those teams. Georgia had a shitload of defensive players that was like, oh my God, linebackers, defensive linemen. So, I mean, we'll wait and see with White. Was it the defense that made him prosper? Because defense was shutting down shit. All you had to do was give the running back the ball 40 times a game. Eat the clock. They wasn't scoring. So I'm not
and that's No, I was gonna say that there's positives in that too, man. There's a lot of positives in that, especially with White. He wasn't the main guy.
No.
You know what I'm saying? It was running back by committee, and it was kind of really running back by specialty. White was more of the between the tackle, short distance, you know what I'm saying, hit the gap, you know what I'm saying, type of runner, while they had another guy, which I really like, that running back, James Cook.
Yes.
Who's Dalvin Cook's little brother.
Yes,
he was more of the catch, passing, you know what I'm saying, shake, you know what I'm saying, third down. Usually what they call the third down back. Okay. So that also means his numbers may have dropped a little bit because there was another running back there that was, also getting some touches, but also at the same time, that's preserving him because he's not having all that tread on his tires.
You're correct.
So, even selecting the running backs, selecting some of these running backs, like Isaiah Spiller. You know what I'm saying? Isaiah Spiller was a bell cow for his team. You know what I'm saying? He got all the touches. So that means all, you know what I'm saying? So that means, yes, he's going to get the numbers. Yes, he's going to get the touchdowns. Yes, he's going to get all the catches. But guess what? That's a lot of tread on those tires.
You're right.
So that also can play a factor in selecting a player, but also looking at a player and evaluating, you know what I'm saying, if you really want that player for your team. The reason why we got Josh Jacobs, you know what I'm saying, was because he didn't have, because the team that he was on, it was running back by committee. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have that much tread on his tires. And that's why, we decided to go with him, where we did.
And you make a perfect point, because I remember with Josh Jacobs coming out of Alabama and Gruden and them, they took him out of a system, like you said, that was by committee and wanted him to be the bell cow. That's not what he did. Now, what I noted, and I listened to this in the press conference today with Ziegler and McDaniels, they said you have, and it made perfect sense, you have running backs that are there for different reasons. One running back is not the old days where you expect him to do everything. You had a running back for every specific, whether it's a third down back, catching out the backfield, doing this, doing that. And so basically what that told me was, what we're going to do offensively is do running back by committee. And what does White do best? Running back by committee. You get the right player for your system. I'm telling, that's why I said, if it makes sense, I'm fine with it. And it made perfect sense, because when I watched the interview in the conference today with them, and they were saying, speaking of this, I was like, okay, I see where you're going with this shit. I'm reading in between the lines, like, we're running back by committee. That's what this team is. So there's no need for Josh Jacobs to carry 30 times a game. So in case he does walk and goes to a team that does want him to run the ball 30 times a game, that's not us no more. John Gruden's not here no more. We're not expecting that from Josh Jacobs. But what we're expecting is the running backs that we do have, everybody has a role to play, and we got to get the right pieces to fit those roles, and that's what they did. That's exactly what they did. So I understand. Will Josh Jacobs be here next year? Who knows? If I could predict the future, I'd be rich out on a boat somewhere floating in the Mediterranean, you know what I mean, with bottles and models, you know what I mean? But I'm not. But I'm just looking from afar and listening to what they're saying, and I'm like, it makes sense. Because Brown and White are not the same running back. And that showed me right there, they're grabbing players on the offense, on the running back side of the ball, to fit positions within the running back group. Because there's going to be a day, and you said this earlier about us signing players that has 1-year deals. What we're going to do after the 1-year deal? Go out there and scour the country for, you know what I mean, new players that's free agents, or, you know what I mean? We shouldn't have to do that. But if we already got them on board, it's like, hey, if y'all guys going after the back, we wish you luck. We got the next guy up. And that's how they're doing it, similar to what New England did. Not exactly, but similar. Because New England always went to the next man up. J.C. Jackson wasn't a priority for them to franchise or sign. You know what I mean? So it's just the ship keeps going. It don't matter who's on the ship or who jumps off. It's going to keep going. So you just got to get the next guy in line to go ahead and do what they did. You know what I mean? It's as a collective. But, I mean, I like the draft. And I seen, shout out to my boy out there that had to ask the question. He said he gives it a B. And I said C plus, B. That's in that range. It makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense to grade our draft at, because we did go out there and get players that we did need, but we did not reach. Thank God we didn't have a first and a second. But I don't think that I ain't gonna say that, because I don't think they would have reached in the first and second.
Not with these guys.
No, hell no. No. We got good value at the positions that we picked. I'm fine.
But look at this, man. And I was, like I said, I've had multiple conversations about this draft, but look at what was running in the first round early.
Yeah,
the position,
yes.
The wide receiver position.
Yes.
They did a crazy run,
yes,
on wide receivers in the first round. And what did we get in the first round?
A wide receiver. You might as well say Adams was a wide receiver we got with the first and second. The best wide receiver out there. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
The best wide receiver out there.
So you know what I'm saying? That just accredits, you know what I'm saying, what this leadership knows. You know what I'm saying? They even though DC is best friends with DA and you know what I'm saying, all of that.
It was beyond that.
And that's cute. That's cute and all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the leadership had to sign off on that.
Yes, indeed.
They had to say, you know what? We're gonna be okay giving up these picks.
Yep.
To you know what I'm saying? We'll be okay drafting in the third round. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so just that hindsight of knowing that, okay, and I'm throwing hypotheticals out there. They probably had a conversation and was like, you know, I think there's going to be a run on wide receivers, you know, in the draft. And why not for us get the best wide receiver in the NFL?
They gauged that just right. They gauged it because you figure with the combine and you had those receivers running all other. How many of them went sub 4.4 in the 40? And we know when they look at wide receivers, they're looking at 40 time. And there was a lot. I think didn't they break a record with the amount of sub 4.4 40s the wide receivers ran?
Yeah.
That told you right there. The depth of the wide receiver was there. So, but it's a gamble still. Just because they run in sub 4.4 don't mean they're going to come to the NFL and be the next Hall of Famer. You know what I mean? True. But we knew what we had with Adams. You knew what you had to give up to get him. You got him. You knew the money that was included that would get him here. But you know what you have with Adams. It ain't like we hope Adams is good. We know what Adams is. Yeah. Now, college players, that's a different story. It's cheaper, but you don't know what you're going to get. You got to pay to play the game, and they paid Adams. They went and got him. Okay, number one receiver. We know route running. You put him, and he even said, I remember he was talking about watching Renfro's tape, and I'm like, damn, you watching Renfro? But Renfro, hey, coming off that line of scrimmage,
yeah,
him and Adams together on the field at the same time, that's a problem. Somebody's open.
Somebody's open.
Somebody's open. They're creating a fucking nightmare on this offensive side of the ball. And they went and solidified the offensive line just to make that point. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, I hope if this goes the way that it looks like they're trying to go with it and it happens, I feel sorry for defenses. Because, I mean, you'll get a good defense out there, but how many defenses in the NFL have two good man-to-man corners? Them days is gone. Man. I remember we were running the teams that wanted to have that, and other teams tried to do the same thing. You know what I mean? But it's hard to make that happen. It's hard to get two shut-down corners on your team. So with that being said, when you face the Raiders offense and you only got one shutdown corner, good luck. Because that other guy about to look, he about to be third-degree burn. You know what I mean? They going to have to put him in a blanket and roll him on the ground. Stop, drop, and roll during the game.
Yeah.
He about to be burnt. Because I'm telling you, we got them kind of players on this team. I'm glad we did not trade Waller. With them rumors floating, I'm glad. But Waller said that front office guaranteed him he was not going anywhere, and they were true to their word. That's how you see and see it. This is behind the scenes also. That's how you develop a relationship and trust. When your front office told you we're not going to do this to you, and they don't, Waller got to sit there and he got to come to camp. He got to play his contract out, and knowing if he produces, they're going to take care of him. Because their word is bond. That's that trust. Now, there's teams that say, oh, we're not going to trade you. And then behind your back, they trade you. You find out on Twitter. Oh, I'm with the Jets now. You know what I mean?
Marquise
that kind of
Brown.
Stuff, there it is. You know what I mean? And it's like, they did not do that to Waller. So now with that being said, Waller, I think he's fully on board. You know what I mean? He's on board now. He has no worries that these guys are going to do something scandalous behind his back. Because they told him and they showed him. We're not moving you. You're not going nowhere. Because I seen a little interview and he said, oh, they reassured me that they're not going to trade me, that, don't even worry about it. And they didn't. So that goes a long way with players in front offices. So I expect that's another thing that you expect Waller to go ahead and ball out. You know what I mean?
And that trust is even extended with our quarterback because
that
you know what I'm saying? There was times where they was talking about, and he was like, nah, this money, I forgot who they said, and he said, nah, this money is for Debo Samuel. He's like, nah, this money is for Renfro. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have that because DC said, the way he structured his contract, he wants his boys with him. You know what I'm saying? And he's he can tweet that out because he believes that
he got that Tupac Shakur. He got that juice. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because he said he specifically wanted his guys. You know what I'm saying? And that regime said, okay, if you come in here with the dollar that we want, then we'll have your guys here. And that's exactly what's going on. Be ready. It may not come soon.
Yeah,
but it will happen.
It will happen.
What I'm saying?
Yep.
It will happen.
Yep, because they said it was looking for that sweet spot and they hit it, and Carr agreed to it. He
Real
said,
sweet spot, man.
Hey, you can't knock Carr. I don't care who. Carr is a team player, hands down, and it's hard to find them kind of quarterbacks because they're divas. They're like, it's all about give me my money. Facts. Look at Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers went out there and got the bag. What happened because of that? They went into the draft looking for a number one receiver. They went to move up and couldn't do it. You know what I mean? That shows you right there. But Carr let Carr play this season with everything this team is doing for him. Let's make our judgments after the season is over. That's all I want to say. Because I see the division. I don't like the division, but some people might say that their hate on Carr is justified because there's no production as far as playoff wins and Super Bowls. But playoff wins and Super Bowls is a team stat. You must have a team collectively win a Super Bowl. One man doesn't win a Super Bowl on a 53-man roster. Come on now. Let's be honest. This ain't boxing where one man can go out there and knock him out and take his belt. It's a collective. Just hope that our collective is matching up with Carr to make him produce better. I'm ready to get a Super Bowl parade down Las Vegas Boulevard. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm ready to pop bottles and high five. Even the ones that hated Carr. When we get a Super Bowl, we high fiving because our team won that shit, and it's gonna be the most lit. You see that parade in LA with the Rams? Come on now, we better than that. Better than that.
Way better than that.
We about to bring it in like, oh shit. You know what I mean? We gonna go stupid. We going dumb. We doing Bay shit. We doing LA shit. We doing Vegas shit. All in the same parade. All three cities is gonna be there. Hey, we out there. We out there, and it's coming soon because I see how this team is being built. They're really gonna be even and balanced on both sides of the ball, and that's all we asked for. When we knew we had a good offense, we just hoped that we had a good defense as well. So I'm ready for this shit. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Thank you for pulling up. I love y'all questions, man. I love y'all statements too, though. You know what I mean? Shout out to AP12X. Exactly. Signing Paulo Malo, the nephew of our one of our coaches on our team.
Yeah,
I like that. That's what I want to talk about, the undrafted. We signed him out of USC. It makes sense because look at the connection. Matter of fact, do you know any of the undrafteds that we picked? Are you familiar with the players?
Not all of them, man. I was just actually looking at just the names, and then trying to go back and do some homework on them, man, because they just came out tonight. So it's not like I haven't had a night to what I'm saying, prepare. But there's some guys. Let me see if I can take a look at. But we can talk about the Polamalu because that's actually Troy Polamalu's nephew.
Yeah, but his uncle is also on our team. Yeah, team
coach. He's our running back coach.
Exactly.
And he came from
USC.
Polamalu, the safety that we just got came from USC. Yep. His tape is actually pretty good. He reminds me of a box safety. He's sizable, and that's what I really like about him because he's like 6'4".
Oh, I see. I got his name and stuff, but I don't know his stats. So I'm glad. That's why I'm glad I'm asking you. Damn. Yeah. I like big safeties, dude. That's against tight ends and shit.
And that is exactly what I like about that is that because he's 6'4", that means he's not going to be getting mossed by these tight ends. You know what I'm saying? He's pretty much their height. You know what I'm saying? So if he can keep up with them coverage wise, then he'll be all right. So I'll just drop a few of the names.
Okay.
Justin Hall. from Ball
Okay.
State.
Yeah.
Trey Turner.
Okay.
And that was an interesting story because Minnesota tried to offer him $2,500.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, and we offered him 40,000.
The wide receiver out of Virginia Tech, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Virginia Tech, Trey Turner.
I knew the bidding would happen, man. I've seen that shit happen before.
Yeah. So and then we got
shit.
Bryce Crosby. He's a safety / nickel corner.
Okay. State.
Another safety, Quinterio.
Yeah,
Quinterio Cole. Excuse my, I'm trying to read these names, and some of these, I swear, some of these parents need to make these names. You know,
Quinterio, right? Quinterio.
Yeah. Quinterio Cole. He's a safety.
Yes.
From Louisville.
Louisville.
We also got Cole Fatherham.
There's another one.
Fatherham.
Yeah. Tight end Utah.
Yep. Linebacker Darion Butler. I like that one from Arizona State. That he came out of Herm Edwards. Not Herm Edwards. What's his name? I always forget.
Pierce. Remember, we got Pierce from there to be our linebacker coach.
Yeah, but
Antonio Pierce.
But who's the main coach over there?
Oh, at Arizona State.
He used to coach for
Herm Edwards, right? Herm Edwards.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I got it right. Herm Edwards.
Yeah, you got it right.
And then of course, like I said, safety Isaiah Palomalu. Palomalu.
Okay.
Malo. Yeah, he's 6'4", 205.
Oh.
6'4", 205.
Damn, that's nice.
We Ed Zach Van Valkenburg.
Yeah, here we go with them names.
Yeah, man.
Zach V. Edge.
Zachy V.
Zach V.
Yeah. And he played for the Hawkeyes.
Iowa.
So he played for Iowa. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now here's one thing that's interesting, and I look at it as being a project, is the quarterback from Cal that we picked too, though, which was Chase Garbers.
Yeah. So, I think he's definitely going to be a practice squad guy.
Yeah.
We're probably just going to stash him on there, and
it's going to be a McDaniel project to work with and develop, because he got good size. I looked at his size. I'm like, that's a good size quarterback. You know what I mean? And I've seen how they develop quarterbacks in New England. So let's wait and see. Even if you don't start, hey, trade bait. If you develop them, trade bait.
Notre Dame, defensive lineman Myron Tagovailoa.
Yes. What about Sam Webb, cornerback out of
Missouri? Yeah.
Because he got a 4.48 40, 6 foot, 202 pounds. So good speed for a corner, good size. You know what I mean? Then we gotta grab the tackle out of Utah. What, Bam? What's his name? Bam Olaseni? I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever. Bam O.
Bam O.
You're gonna be Bam O tonight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For real.
And I think there's actually some more out there, but those are the kind of ones that have been highlighted to this point tonight. Again, they could bring in a whole lot more undrafted free agents.
Yep.
And they'll probably, again, as things develop even tomorrow, there'll probably be some more guys added. So yeah, we're trying to fill out this roster, and Trey Turner sounds interesting. Of course, the Isaiah. I hope that works out, because we need someone to really get busy on these tight ends. You know what I'm saying? Because we are in a league or in a conference where the tight end position is important.
Hey, For real. Shout out to AP12X. He said that defensive guy that we got out of Notre Dame, Myron Valio, whatever.
Yeah.
That's the quarterback from Miami's cousin.
Tua.
That's Tua's cousin. That's what he just said in the chat. I didn't know that. Hey, good looking out, man. Thank you for that info. For real.
Yeah.
Yeah, so hey, I like the competition. And like you said, there's other names that's going to be added as well. Man, I competition is all I ask for. I don't like the fact that there's certain players that you give the starting job to, like we know Max Crosby, we know Chandler Jones, people like that, they're going to be the starters. But the gaps in between, let them compete, let them earn it. Because it's going to bring out the best, and we're going to have the best guys on the field on the starting offense or defense. So, man, yeah, I'm happy with the draft. I'm happy with the post-draft, the draft during the draft. It's dope, man. It's dope. I like what the direction we're going in. We address needs that we did need without reaching. I can't wait to see these guys hit the field, to be honest with you. I can't wait to see them produce. And I'm glad that we got like a Hall of Fame game, because that's the kind of game that you get these guys to play in. And that's usually you don't make your cuts yet that week. Since us and Jacksonville are only two playing early like that, everybody you got on your team is playing. The starters are going to sit there and watch. But these guys that's undrafted and the guys that we did draft, we're going to see a lot of. So I want to sit back, watch the Hall of Fame game in August. And man, see what we got here, man. Let's see what we got. Somebody's gonna like turn some heads. I know they are, because it always happens. You know what I mean? So now let me ask you this, Twine. Were there any players like when we did draft that were there available that we didn't grab that you said maybe we should have?
I was looking in all the wrong places to be honest with you, man. Like I was really sold coming into the draft that we needed, to get a linebacker. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I felt that in the third round, we could have got a linebacker to really, like we're doing on the D line, try to have someone solidified for at least 4 years in the middle of the D defense. You know what I'm saying, at linebacker. But they went with to be honest with you, I think looking at it hindsight, I think they went with Parham because they knew the value of Parham and where he was actually supposed to be when he was drafted. He was supposed to, they said that he was projected to be in the second round, and for him to fall all the way to the third round, they were like, well, hey, we need to, we need to take an audible, pull him real quick, because again, we need to pull audible, because these, again, we were looking at positions, right? They were probably looking at, we need offensive tackles, we need defensive tackles, and when that guy fell to us, they were like, well, let's go ahead and snag him. So that's just how I'm processing it, because again, I was not in the war room. I wish I was, but I was really looking at, linebacker and trying to figure out if we could really solidify there.
I was thinking the same thing. Yeah. And I'm surprised we didn't, but maybe see, and a lot of times that we, especially as fans, we speculate and we come up with our own opinions on how things should have went and how they did go, that we're overlooking the fact that these guys are playing chess in the war room. This is not checkers. They're playing chess. They know who's sliding and most likely where they're going to end up. You know what I mean? Because how else would you have known to move up to trade for a running back, and then the team right behind you drafts a running back? You know what I mean? And that's with White, when they moved up and got White, I was like, why would you move up to give running back? Like, you know what I mean? Right after the Raiders call or pick was made, they announced the pick afterwards, and it was a running back. I'm like, that's why. I guarantee you, I don't know if it was Jacksonville or whoever, but whoever was behind us during that pick, they were going to grab him. And I don't know how they work this shit, who leaked shit out, but they must have known. If they didn't know, they had a gut feeling, and they moved in on it, and they made the right selection, because when that shit unfolded, I'm like, oh, shit. They went and grabbed the running back that team's going to get. I know that what was going to happen. I know that what was going to happen because it just makes perfect sense. Why else would you move up to grab a running back?
I forgot who was the running back that they went after that, because
let me look it up, because when I was at the draft and I heard them announce the pick behind us, I was like, oh, that's why we moved up, because them sons of bitches, they grabbed the running back. That's what they did. I'm like, they must have been after White. They must have had their eyes on White. How they found out, I don't know. But you know what I mean? They didn't call people and got people inside of, you didn't hear it from me, but this is what I heard is going down. You know what I mean? And they're like, oh, really? Okay, we're about to make a move then. Let me find it.
And you can kind of, you know what I'm saying? You can, you know, some of it we can even do it a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Put the pieces together to know, okay, these are the things that they need, you know what I'm saying? And then you look at the, you know, you look at what the pool is and say, okay, you know what, the good running backs are about to run out. You know what I'm saying? Are the good running backs about to, you know, there's not too many of them left. So that means you might as well, you better jump on it now, because you're not going to be able to get it later. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So there's mental, you know, little things that you can kind of get an idea what a team is looking at, and all of that. You know, that's why, you know, when you're watching ESPN or however you're watching the draft on your TV, you know, they would say, you know, Texans, and they need a corner, they need a defensive tackle, and a safety. They're doing the same processing that I'm saying.
And look, now it makes really good sense. The team that was behind us that drafted a running back after we got White was the Chargers. Spiller.
And you know what we did? We traded up, and we got
their ass.
We got the running back that had the lesser miles.
Yep. They went up there and jumped over the Chargers and got a running back, because the Chargers went and got Spiller right after that shit happened. Now it makes sense. Your division rival, you did not allow them to get White. Shit. Okay. See, we gotta read in between the lines. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it was like, oh, I know they're gonna get running back.
So
let me go ahead and jump ahead of them and get the one that and get the one we want. But the reason why we want him is because he doesn't have too much tread on his tires.
Man.
Versus
Spiller out of Texas,
who was getting all the touches and all the linebacker hits, and you know what I'm saying? You got to factor all that in. He was getting beat up being the main running back. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
At least our guy kind of got a little breather, you know, every once in a while. You know what I'm saying?
Man, for real. Hey, that makes perfect fucking sense. Oh my God. Shout out to Raider Antic 22 out there. Man, you happy with the picks? Hey, brother, we happy with the picks too. We're going over it. Like I said, as long as the picks make sense, I'm fine. I cannot argue it, because it makes sense. Now, if we were reaching, like when you reach for shit that doesn't make sense, like why in the hell would you draft this guy here? That's the things that you got to worry about. But everything that we've gotten in the draft with the picks that we did have, it makes sense. Like we needed offensive linemen, especially on the right side of the ball. We also needed defensive tackles, because we got some in free agency, but we needed our own, the ones that we draft. Now look at the competition at defensive tackle. We got tackles that can play 3-4. We got tackles that can play 4-3. we can interchange. You know what I mean? We can change our defense up the way Patrick Graham wants to do. So yeah, shout out to y'all in the chat, man. Y'all make just as much sense as we do. Man, I'm happy with it. I'm happy. Me and Raider Twine, we sitting here. If this is your first time here, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, knock the hell out of that notification bell so you could be notified of all the content I release, even breaking news. And always feel welcome when I go live to pull up. Man, shoot your shit in the comment box. That's all I say. Y'all more than welcome. It's one nation, it's Raider Nation, and we're all one. Thank you for pulling up. But yeah, Twan, man, it's like I want to hear these other names that we got outside of the draft that was undrafted. Because I mean, there's like you said, there's more names. I just want to know what they are, like position wise. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I see we covered the board outside of the draft with this undrafted shit. I'm looking at the names and positions down. I'm like,
wide receiver, tight end, linebacker, line,
tackle,
line.
Yeah, exactly. Cornerback, defensive line, safety, tight end, safety. Few safeties on here. Three safeties I see. Wide receiver, not the fastest guy, but you know what I mean. They see something in him. Quarterback project, defensive line. I understand that. Cornerback. Linebacker, and we talked about that linebacker too, though. Butler from Arizona State.
Yeah,
that made perfect sense because what Antonio Pierce, ex-linebacker in the NFL, was the linebacker coach at Arizona State. Now with us, and this who comes over, he knows. And I watched dude's tape. Hey, do not sleep on Butler. I'm telling you now, Darion Butler, linebacker from Arizona State. Do not sleep on this dude. This dude plays the ball, plays the game, and he plays it hard. I'm telling you, his motor is unbelievable at linebacker. He got good awareness. Watching his tape is like he pays attention to the play going on, and he makes big plays. Interceptions is on his resume. You better look that shit up. He's a ball hawk. You know what I mean? At linebacker, he's a ball hawk. He knows where the ball is going to be, and he breaks on that shit, and he gets to it. I want to see what he does. I definitely got to see what he does because his potential is there. His potential is there.
I definitely, like I said, you know, these names just came out, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, and again, there's, you know, thousands on top of thousands of players that were, you know, listed as possible, you know, coming out, you know what I'm saying, and being picked up and all that stuff. So I'm definitely going to be watching some film. Even when we get off of this, I'm probably going to watch a couple of names today, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, when I wake up, probably hit a couple of other names because I know, you know, between tomorrow and next week, there'll probably be some even more names added, you know, to that undrafted list.
And see, and also to add to that, see, people, we're looking at the draft, we're looking at post-draft with undrafted rookies, but don't forget, we're a month away from June 1st.
And we got money.
Bam. So, and this is, I know a lot of people say, and I heard people talk about Honey Badger. Like, I'm over him. I think Honey Badger is waiting out for June 1st.
Yeah. I'm real cool off of that right now. Just
you know, but don't be surprised if he end up in silver and black because I'm going by like this Hondo on Twitter. He won't say the name of the player, but there's little shit he says that is the same shit that Honey Badger is saying. And I'm like, okay. So and come on now, let's be honest. The caliber of player that Honey Badger is, should he be out there unsigned right now? Unless he's waiting on something. And a veteran of his stature that's that good, and even Kansas City said that Honey Badger ain't all the way off the table. Come on now, you're not giving him a vote of confidence with that statement. You making him sound like a last option. And that's the kind of thing he was hurt by. And then Hondo on Twitter, I hear him saying the player is. He said that there's going to be a player that's in negotiations with the Raiders as well. That we're waiting on him. Family is a situation that is the decision that he's making, and Badger is saying the same shit. I got to make sure my family, and I'm like, okay. And Badger ain't signed with nobody. He can't sign with a team that he wants to go to until the money is there. June 2nd, the money is there. We're going to wait and see, because I'm telling you, with the picks we have, how much money do teams usually put to a side to sign their free agents with all your draft picks? Isn't a few, 10 million
for the draft class? Yeah. It's pretty much, you can just say 10 million. You want to put 10 million aside to be able to pay your draft class. But even for us, we're in a better situation because we're not paying the prices. We're not paying the prices for the first and second round.
That's what I'm getting to.
All we're paying is the third, and pretty much the picks that we got. This weekend.
And what does that price look like? From 10 million, it drops down to what, 6?
Probably just about.
And that's almost about the money we got left until June 2nd. So what you gonna do with $20 million on June 2nd? See, that's why I know I try to read in between the lines and go deep in it, but we got to, because it's like, it makes sense. We didn't draft a safety. We got an undrafted safeties, but that doesn't mean they're going to make the team. That could be special teams that they're going to make. Practice squad. We still don't have a safety because you did not pick up the 5th-year option on Abel.
Mm-hmm.
So there's something got to be going on with you mentally as far as thinking of what is your next move. And I'm thinking, and I know a lot of people cooled off on Honey Badger, but it is starting to add up as far as everything. All the eggs are being, you know what I mean? It's like your ducks are in a row, like, for this to happen. Like, okay, they're saying the same shit. He's not signed yet, and a caliber type safety that he has with a Super Bowl ring on his finger does not have a team yet.
Hey, the reason why I say I'm cool off of it is because, I do that just for my own personal, mental health, because I ain't trying to get, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs,
man.
You know what I'm saying? Just trying to figure out if he's going to be here and all of that. So that's why I'm like, I'm cool off of it. If it happened, I'm going to go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But, you know what I'm saying? I ain't going to go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and then, you know what I'm saying, it be on something else. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So
you don't want to get
if
your
it
hopes
happened,
up.
I see how it's at. I see 1 + 1 is equaling 2. But you know what I'm saying? At this point, I can't I can't go any further than that. You know what I'm saying?
No.
But to be honest with you, with the money that we do have, we have the flexibility to actually bring in 2, maybe even 3 players with that money. You know what I'm saying? So it depends on how we finagle it, how we play it out, whatever the situation may be. But no, June 1st, after June 1st, that money is there.
And see, and I'm just speaking of Honey Badger. Now, what is the deadline to go ahead and delegate players as a June 1st release? What's the deadline? Because I'm telling you, we can sit back and wait and see what these other teams are going to release. And usually your June 1st releases are high contracts, which if you got a high contract as a player, you must have been a productive player before you got that contract. That's the only way you're going to earn it, unless they reached out and overpaid you. But a lot of times, we didn't expect Corey Littleton to not produce like he did with the Rams.
Perfect example.
You know what I mean? We gave him money on what he's done. He became a June 1st release. You know what I mean?
He's already released.
No, that's what I'm saying. We released him, but look at the money we saved because of that. We gave him that money because we thought he was going to come in and do what he did with the Rams.
Yeah.
Happened. And that happens a lot of times. A lot of times players do not fit the scheme and the system that they go to for the big money. Remember when Aquamar went to Philadelphia? What happened? He got
roasted.
big money, but he didn't produce because he's a man-to-man corner, not a zone. You know what I mean?
Roasted.
He does better lockdown than being in the zone defense. They put him. They did not play him right, but he got the money, and it didn't pay off. So I'm looking at these teams like, okay, what candidates are on these other teams that can be June 1st releases, and when is the deadline to go ahead and delegate your June 1st releases? Do you got until June 1st? You know what I mean? I'm wondering because it's like there's going to be more players released and good quality players in the right position in the right system. So I'm just curious to know who's out there, and I'm pretty sure Ziegler and them know. They know what teams. They broke it down to what teams are going to be focusing on what players to release for June 1st. It's not a mystery. We knew as fans who we were going to target. We just had to wait for them to do it. We knew Littleton didn't produce, and we knew that was June 1st would have freed up so much money. What Krakowski also would have freed up so much money. That's why they did what they did. But it's like, I'm curious what other players is going to hit the market. We don't want to go ahead and shoot our load June 2nd. Honey Badger might be an option. Maybe he's not. Maybe we sit back and we told him, hey, just hold on. Maybe other teams told him as well. Hold on until June 2nd. But because we're looking at these other teams and going ahead and looking at the landscape as far as what other teams are going to release what players for June 1st. Just to move that money over so they don't get hit with it all this year. You know what I mean? It's interesting to know because I bet you Bradbury with the Giants will be a release. They can't trade him. The draft is over. The draft is usually what you trade players for to get picks to get a replacement or whatnot. That's done now. So you figure anybody else left on these teams with a contract that these teams don't like, June 1st is what they're going to be hit with. So, and I remember connecting the Raiders with Bradbury. It makes sense. Corner, we didn't grab a corner. You put Bradbury with Yasin in a system that he's familiar with. There you have it. Maybe you get both. Maybe you get a Bradbury and a Honey Badger. Now your secondary is set. You got to look at all the options, all the possibilities. But man, it's endless. It depends on what your team release, dude. I'm telling you, it's like shit. If that team releases such and such, what? You know what I mean? He's gonna make you like, oh. And we got 20 million freed up June 2nd. Oh shit.
And then on top of that, you look at, these people that are getting released. They see what these teams are doing. You know what I'm saying? And they look at what the Raiders is doing and saying, what if the Raiders needed my services?
Mm-hmm. What can I bring to their system?
You know what, agent? Since I'm paying you all this, since you're on my payroll,
make a phone call.
Go ahead and call Las Vegas and see if they're interested in me.
You're right. For real. Man, hey, for real. Hey, we covered that aspect. I'm ready for this shit to jump off. But man, Twan, I'm about to shut this down, man. I appreciate you pulling up. Man, we done touched on a lot of subjects with this team in the draft.
Yes, sir.
It all makes sense. I like where we're going with the direction of this team, and we're not done yet. That's the other part of it. The draft is over. Doesn't mean free agency in June 1st and 2nd and whatever releases. Even when teams got to cut their rosters down, they're going to release players. You know what I mean? You still go ahead and scour the landscape of players that's going to be available from teams releasing them because of June 1st or just cutting down to your 53-man roster. There's a lot the Raiders can do. So with that being said, man, I'd like to thank each and every one of you guys who have pulled up into the chat, made your voice heard, because all of you guys are part of the nation, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you. Twan, let the people know that's here where they can reach you.
Oh man, you can find me on IG at Twan TWUAN. We can talk about football, you know what I'm saying? We can talk about life, you know, if you need someone to talk to, I'm there for you. You know what I'm saying? Definitely hit me up on IG. I'm all about that. You can also find me also on Raider Twan on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to that. Just join my little family over there, you know, on Raider Twan on YouTube. And then also I do another YouTube page where I do fishing, and I'll teach, you know, we have tutorials on teaching you what to get when you're out there fishing, you know, what to do when you're out there fishing, all outdoor stuff. And it's called Yes Sir Outdoors, and that's on YouTube. So you can go over there, subscribe, and just follow us. We're actually on with Yes Sir Outdoors. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Yes Sir Outdoors. And then let me close this out by saying, you know, thank you, my brother, for having me on. And you know, if you guys are ever so inclined, please, you know, consider yourself to be a organ donor. You know what I'm saying? Sign up to be an organ donor. You don't know how many people you can save and impact by being a organ donor. So
yes.
Please do so.
And with that being said, you guys, I thank you, each and every one of you guys, for pulling up Raiders Allegiance. Yours truly, Lunatic Raider. You guys are more than welcome to pull up anytime you want. We're here for you. Like I said, without you, there's no me. Without us, there's no nation. There's only one nation, and that's Raider Nation. I'd like to tell you guys to have a good evening, good night, good early morning, really, because it's early. So may your weekend, the rest of your weekend, be blessed. Thank you guys for coming. I'm Lunatic Raider. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Hit the like button and knock the hell out of the notification bell so you can be notified of all the content I release, even breaking news. I'd like to thank Raider Twan for pulling up, discussing the draft. I'm glad you guys pull up as well, hitting your comments in the chat box. Thank you. And once again, I'm out.